stream, starting the recording. Hey everyone, this is OotiniCast episode 405, being recorded on the 12th of January of 2021. And we have Swtorista with us today, which is awesome. We're so excited, and we'll start the real podcast here in a minute. We're just getting things ready. Looks like the stream is going. I will tweet this out, and yeah, we can just kind of vamp for a second here while we get going.
I need a good screenshot to go with my tweet. As one should. It's the most important part.
Scarlett, hey, how are you?
Scarlett's here, nice.
Scarlett got 2 new puppies and a new kitty in the last couple weeks.
Wow.
And that cat is so gorgeous. Its fur looks like smoke. It's crazy.
That is
cool. One
cool.
moment, I'll be right back.
Is that like a gray cat? I've had one gray cat in my life, and I love that cat. That's probably still my favorite cat of all time. He was a genuine sweetie pants. Nice. I made you jump. That's funny. I've done that too, where like the channel goes offline, but you don't actually close the browser, and then like it just starts up again. All right, let's get this retweeted as well.
I could do my makeup before we start the stream. Like, so you guys, we already do your camera makeup. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. That's how you do it. Air makeup.
Looking for makeup. I don't have any.
As well, actually
put some lipstick on.
I don't have any at my computer desk.
We should do like a goth stream, and we can all put like black lipstick on and stuff.
I would love that.
That'd be awesome.
My younger years. Oh, I've got so many good clothes packed away. My prom dress. I got like a gothic prom dress.
Wow.
No way. Was it like a Victorian style?
Yeah, it was like freaking sweet. Wow. It was purple.
Very nice.
Black lace.
Nice.
That's funny.
I could never imagine you as goth. I love it.
I like pretty things. What can I say? I'm all about the aesthetic.
Yeah. Well, lots of chances to do that in SWTOR, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You can get very goth in SWTOR if you want to.
Hey, Deck, where did you dig up that
old
fossil? Are you talking about me or Jill?
All right.
This stream brought to you by Coca-Cola.
That's right. Yeah, I often get accused of Baja Fresh. Because I have a ton of advertising with me, but because I have a ton of their cups.
Sound better?
Huh?
I think this sounds better.
Yeah.
The audio. Okay,
you sound good. Yeah.
Whenever I think of Baja Fresh, it always reminds me of The Sopranos.
Hey, Marcus.
And Joe, what's his name? Would always call it Baja Fresh.
Baja Fresh. Yeah.
We're gonna go get some Baja Fresh.
All right, then I think it's time to get going. Looks like we got people pouring in here, which is good. And
Guess how you doing?
Yep, I think everyone's got their Audacity rolling, let's see, the stream is recording as well. It is. Yeah, I think we should get going. All right. Gonna go in 5. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast. Maybe he's a Gungan. Is that why you don't want to show your face? This is episode 405, being recorded on Tuesday, January 12th, 2021. I'm your host, Chill. With me is my co-host, KittyKissz. Hey, Kitty.
Hello.
And we have the triumphant return of Swtorista today. Hey, Swtorista, how you doing?
Hey, everybody. Hey, Chill. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, we do ton of, like retweeting and Twitter talks and all that good stuff online, but we haven't actually had you back as a guest for quite a while, and we're really excited to have you on today. So let us know a little, well, we got lots to talk about with what you've been doing, but but go ahead and give us a little brief of what you've been doing recently, let's say in game, and we'll talk more about like what you've been doing for the community in a little bit.
I've been up to quite a bit lately. I've been playing a lot, just actually playing the game as
Great.
well as making guides. The most recent thing I've been working on is the GRE event just started today. It's going to be running for a week. If you are playing after this episode comes out. It'll be running till the 19th of January. And I am doing Xeno Analyst every second I can. I'm trying to get those little the Gree event currency so that I can eventually go buy these special armors from the event ambassador. Have you guys seen those ones before? She's hanging out, or he on the Imperial side, hanging out in the Cartel Bazaar section of the fleet. And it's like this rare, obscure armor. And I'm like, I must, as Swtorista, I must have it. I must have the Sharp Dresser achievement title. So I'm slowly working on that.
Oh, wow.
And what else? I've been playing the Jedi Knight story. I played it quite a long time ago, like 4 or 5 years ago during Dark versus Light event. And
oh, wow. Yeah.
I didn't really remember what happened, except what happens at the very, very end.
Right.
The important part.
right. Yeah, the part that ties into the rest of SWTOR lore.
And I won't give any spoilers, but the newest story update is very, I think I could say, tied into the Jedi Knight story as well as the Sith Warrior story. So I wanted to go back, now that I've super enjoyed Echoes of Oblivion, I wanted to go back and replay the Jedi Knights and kind of remember everything that happened there.
Awesome. That makes sense. Nice. And Kitty, what have you been up to?
I just started. I got really excited. I like to go for walks after dinner. And I was doing the walks after dinner, and I was listening to, of course, the Star Wars novel on tape.
Nice.
And then I remembered that they just released a bunch of them. The Light of the Jedi. So I got that, and I've been listening to that. And now that I'm into it, I find myself wanting to go walking more.
Oh, cool.
That's nice. It's that reward feedback. It's going into your brain saying, it's exercise, Kitty, you get Star Wars.
That's right.
I do. And I did that on purpose because I've done it before.
Right.
I've gotten into audiobooks, and then all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to go walking after dinner. But anyway, I've been enjoying it. I'm not going to give any spoilers or anything like that, but I'm at the point where they're just kind of setting up the story, but I'm definitely excited to see where it's going.
Have there been any characters that we would recognize from the Skywalker era?
Nothing.
Because Yoda's clearly alive and stuff like that, so they could bring in certain people that would in fact still be alive at that point in history.
I didn't even think about Yoda being in it, but there hasn't been anybody that I recognize at all.
Right. I'm actually okay with that because
me too.
I like the idea of Star Wars finally stretching its legs and sort of leaving the Skywalker era behind and
that's
doing
kind of what they
things.
Wanted with the High Republic, right? To have a chance to kind of spread their wings in terms of what they could explore.
Yeah. Yep.
It's interesting so far. I mean, they're just setting up the story, so I haven't gotten really into many details about the characters yet. But it's definitely cool to hear, how the Force works with other Jedi, which is really, really cool.
That's cool.
And let's see what else. I've been cosplay. I made a Mako Sentinel, and I've been playing through that, and I've been trying to do everything that you can do in the game that you can do solo. And
okay, cool.
That's been really fun. Just really going slow and kind of just.
So are you trying to do every exploratory quest, or does that mean something different, everything solo?
I found a flowchart, and I've been doing everything on the flowchart. That's, so
story.
It's chronologically.
That's right. It's story order.
Yeah. So you're doing cool. Oricon. And
so you do Oricon when it because you can do Oricon anytime, but if you do it in order, then you're doing it when the Dreadmasters would be rising and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
The Dreadmasters got out.
Cool. Yeah, definitely more fun if you're going to play everything to try and play it in chronological order. It makes so much more sense that way.
Yeah.
Some stuff though, I kind of switched it up. Doing the binocular missions.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
the Shroud story.
I didn't want to run all that stuff, because it's not that fun to watch, and I'm doing it on stream.
Right.
So I kind of break it up and do a couple every day. And we just started the Shroud of Memory, so
nice.
Kind of jumping around.
I love
a
that
little
chapter.
bit, and then running almost all the storylines for your class story and the planetary story, and then even doing the majority of all the other missions you can get. And on the flowchart, it has all of the bonus missions.
Nice, yeah.
So I'm going and running all of those, and it's I love it. I'm having so much fun that I'm just like kind of purposefully going slow so that I can just enjoy the whole thing. And
Are you
Right.
following
really,
the
really
one
fun.
that was made by Player Alortania?
Yes.
That one's so
The
great. She did such a great job.
Oh, it's so great. In
Yeah.
fact, I have it hotkeyed or on my for the stream because people are always like, "What you know? How are you going?" And
Wait, why are you going
type
there?
in
Yeah.
Explanation flowchart. Boom, gives them direct link to what's going on.
Yeah, that was really well
And-
done.
Yeah, so I just got done with Kotfi, and I'm running it in veteran mode again.
Nice.
And it's I like it. Like I said, going slower has been much more enjoyable, and having it a little bit more difficult. That you move a little bit slower, and I've been really enjoying it. I don't have the guts to do it in master mode because I will turn into a 5-year-old and I will swear and I will stomp and I don't want to look like an idiot on stream. So we're putting the brakes on that, but eventually.
Meanwhile, I just did it in master mode and
Oh,
did
I
look
know.
like an idiot on stream.
You didn't.
It's fun.
You didn't. You were very brave. But that's about it. What's up? What's your next thing?
Excellent. All right. Well, let's give a shout out to the chat room. Afro Toast is here. Bantha Mojita, Bo Froley, Cheryl is here. Dekion is here, and I understand Fee's on her way. Eric PA972, Floridan, Lone Wolf, Marcus is here. Hey Marcus, Scarlet Majima, Siska, and of course Swtorista is here, and Sinwolf69. And thanks for coming, everyone. I think there's more, but the list only updates when it updates. I don't know how Twitch works, so so thank you, everyone.
It's witchcraft.
Yeah, so you and I, shortly after the last show, we did a couple of dual streams. That was really fun. I did one even with Lana Kane with you. My Lana Kane character is still not 75. She's actually
Really?
past chapter 9, so she has her alliance, and she's still like 71. I think she just dinged 72 today.
Oh, nice.
And
It's been very interesting to watch you guys do the dual streams because you don't see a lot of people playing together and get to see both of their cams at the same time. It's like a really social thing. It's very cool.
yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I'm hoping we can come up with another good idea of like a couple characters to do at some point soon.
In master mode.
Yeah. There we go.
Make it easier, right? If you did it together.
Well, master mode, yeah. I think it'd be for me. It might be the only way to do it. I might try it on a character, but if I do, it's going to have to be like my geared out main, tank or whatever. We'll see though. So I'm still holding strong. I'm not using any XP boosts. I'm not using any XP gear, which is why she's not 75, even though she's well into Kotfi now. And she feels a bit weak, but I think that's because, normally by this point I have gotten to endgame and then I just shove 306 basic gear at everyone, and she doesn't have that. And so she feels very weak. But we'll see what happens, in a couple more chapters when she dings 75 and I'm able to get gear for her. I don't have like the full set bonus ready for her or anything like that, but I did grab a couple of the tacticals. Those are ready for her, and they're actually pretty interesting for what they do for her particular spec. One sort of spreads the dot, and you use your regular nuke, and it like throws damage all around. The other one improves the main single target nuke that you do use. We'll see how it goes. I must say, like, I'm having a lot of issues with the cover, especially recently. I don't know if it's something about the chapters or if something happened over the last few days in the game or what, but when I'm trying to crouch and go into cover, a lot of times the animation will actually go off, but it will then not consider me to be in cover anyway, and it's kind of a pain.
What do you mean the animation turns off?
Like, you know how when you crouch, your character kneels and there's a little like hollow thing that goes up in front of you? That happens, and then it says I'm not in cover. Like I try to use a cover ability and it says you're not in cover, and then I have to redo it, and it's a real pain in the butt. Like because I like the spec, I really do, but the fact that this is bugging out fairly often, like a significant percentage of the time that I actually try to go undercover, 10-20%, like a high percent. Ooh. This is not like a rare event. This is not once or twice a stream. This is like every few fights I try to go into cover and it's not happening. And so like sometimes I'm double hitting the cover button. It's like really, really nutty that it's this buggy. I don't know why.
I just did a furious Google for you and I'm not really finding anything. You said you're experiencing that mostly in coffee?
It's happened. It's been worse since I got into coffee, but I have leveled her up, from 1 to 72 recently, and it does happen occasionally all the time. But for some reason, it's happening a lot in the last couple chapters of coffee. I don't know if something has changed or if it's coffee related, chapter related. I don't know. And it's not like I don't know the ins and outs. I mean, I know that you have to be on sort of flat surface if you're on like an uneven, jagged spot. Sometimes it won't let you go into cover at all. It's not that. It's just it literally kneels me down, puts the little hollow thing up, and then as soon as I try to use a cover ability, it says you're not in cover, and then the animation goes away too. It's like as soon as it tells me that I'm not in cover, the little animation falls away too.
So you just pop back up like you're standing.
And then my character, pops back up. Yeah. It's very weird. So any temptation that I might have had to, make a gunslinger or sniper, my main is kind of gone away because of that. But having said that, I'm still enjoying it. I still like the spec, and I'm still enjoying, the whole Lana Kane thing too. Also, Swtorista did send me some a whole 30 packs over for Life Day, so I appreciate that. I sent some out to friends and guildies, and I opened the other half myself, which was awesome. I got a bunch of cool stuff. I think my favorite is the Lurgo LS4 speeder. Immediately used it on Lana Kane, and I'm planning on unlocking it ASAP. It has a really nice sound to it and a really cool look and everything, and some nice animations. It had a number of armor sets. The Enhanced Assailants armor set, which was kind of cool. A lot of neat decos that I never had before, including bounty ceiling cages and one of the jukeboxes. I only have one jukebox, and it's not the stand-up kind, it's the wall kind. This is an actual jukebox, which was cool. A couple of emotes I didn't have, double thumbs, which is really fun, angry dance, which is nice, and one of the chairs that I didn't have, which was awesome, and a nice white color crystal. Lots of cool stuff there, so thank you, Swtorista. I appreciate that. It was tons of fun.
I was expected to be confronted about this gift on the stream. I'm embarrassed. Leave me alone.
Sorry. No, it was very nice, and I appreciate it. But speaking of Swtorista, so let's go back to what you've been doing more for the community, because you've been you've had so many projects come through recently. So tell us first of all, did you a little while ago start all of these, and they just all happened to end at the same around the same time? How did that work?
That's exactly it. I get a lot of people saying, "Oh my God, you did all these in the course of 2 weeks." I'm like, no.
Yeah. No, I can tell this took a lot of work. And other people too, it sounded like.
Yes, exactly. So I tend to keep projects rolling over time. I have multiple different projects based on, usually either they're stuck at a point where I need someone else's help and I'm waiting for another player to come in or something else to happen in the game. And a lot of the other rolling projects are based on how well I'm feeling. Like there's the super difficult here, and then one where I just have to take screenshots.
Right.
So a lot of these just started getting finished up at the end of 2020, and it's really awesome to start publishing them. So one of the big ones I wanted to do was, I've had the armor site out for a while that covers really high definition screenshots and easily searchable about things you can currently get in the game. I don't really cover anything retired or anything super random chance.
Right.
But I really wanted to do the same with lots of the other stuff in the game. So now I've got weapons, mounts, pets, crystals, dies. I just finished flares.
So
huge
awesome.
Lore collection.
Oh, the character customizations, is that what you mean?
Yes.
That was cool.
Titles, and I'm working on emotes, tunings, toys, achievements, and companions. So been doing a lot of collecting work here.
That's amazing.
And for me, this is not just cosmetic stuff. I enjoy the act of doing the things you need to collect these. For me, that's just as much content as running an actual Flashpoint
Right.
or something like that.
Right.
For me, it's not always about like, ooh, Space Barbie, though I like that
Yeah.
part too. I like the act of collecting and getting the items, especially when it has stuff you can do with other people too. So I really want to make some clear guides about what you can get now in 2020, 2021, and how to get it.
That's awesome. And of course, there's the giant guide of like everything to do in Swtor, which I
this
love
was
that
a-
one. That was so impressive.
Very impressive.
So impressive.
Let's talk a little bit about that one. So that project is kind of actually based on these different collection projects. It's kind of like, if you like pet collecting, what's every interesting pet that you can go collect? And then it
Right.
kind of expanded a lot from there. I get a lot of comments through Twitter or YouTube about people saying, number one, they're not sure what to do next if they've already finished the story. And the answer is a lot.
Right.
And it's really up to you. And the second thing is, I'm bored. I feel like I've done everything in SWTOR. And I'm like, look,
I promise you have not. Yes.
I have not.
Right.
You definitely have not. But I
Yes.
didn't have a real thing to go point them towards, because most guides, especially for level 75, say, okay, go do operations, go do flashpoints, maybe go check out some dailies, but it doesn't count. Most people have done those who are veteran players at this point, or at least know about them and have decided whether it's something they want to do or not.
Right.
The list of everything is 2,000 bullet points of interesting things you can do in Star Wars The Old Republic
Right.
from top to bottom.
Amazing. When I heard you were doing this, I kind of went, "Oh, she means a list of everything."
No,
like everything.
Everything.
It is so amazing.
Before I go more in depth about this, to get to it, all you have to do is go to swtorista.com/everything, and that's a really simple link to get there.
Awesome name. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so excited when I learned how to make custom links. It makes things a lot more fun. And so this was a very long list to make. I wanted to cover basically every aspect of the game, from things that the game actually tracks, like do each operation. Well, that's tracked in achievements, so most players can know about that. But let's put it on the list, and let's do all the other random stuff in there too. Like, what are all the secret little exploration quests that you can go do, like finding Dawn the Exiled Knight, or go getting yourself an Orakeet pet, and what are actually all the side bosses and stuff like that in Flashpoints, the bonus bosses. What about roleplay? That's not tracked in game at all in any way. What are some things you might want to take a look at for roleplay if you're doing it for the first time and you don't know much about it? So this list is just huge. It's sorted by section. I tried to cover literally every aspect of the game, even ones that I don't necessarily play myself. I tapped into some other exuberant players who wanted to chime in, and this list actually had a ton of community input, and that was because I was doing it on stream. So I would go into a section, I'd start writing my own ideas, which I probably had, I'm sure, a lot on my own, and then the community would start chiming in chat with the kind of stuff that I wouldn't think of. So this is not just my list. This is a list of pretty much tons of different players who like tons of different aspects of the game.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I've come into the stream while you're doing that, and it's really fun to see, take a peek behind the curtain and see how, some of the stuff is done. It's very entertaining to watch.
It's fun. I love
it. It's really fun.
I thought working on guides when I started streaming was something people wouldn't want to watch. But it's something that people seem to do enjoy, especially because a lot of the time when I'm working on the guides, other players can chime in with suggestions or corrections or ideas or questions. It's been a lot of fun to actually work on them live some mornings.
Yeah, when I saw you doing it, I was like, is she working? She's not playing the game. She's working on something completely different.
I've got like a spreadsheet open on screen on Twitch, or I've got like a
It says Swtor,
I was amazed how fun it was.
But it looks like a Google Doc. Yeah.
I love it. I like it.
And then the last thing for this list of everything that's really cool is when I envisioned this list in my head before I started, I was thinking it's going to be a text list. That's my main goal. At least start with that. But when it's done, is there a way to make it a checklist using some basic JavaScript coding, something like that? I hadn't envisioned exactly how to do it yet, and I was able to. So this is actually a savable checklist. if you go to the page, swtorista.com/everything, in the big old gray box at the top, it'll explain how you can turn it into checkboxes by pressing the button, and then you can check the checkboxes and kind of save your progress to a special link. And you can even share that to a friend so that they can come and see what you've done, and maybe you can work together on finding things that you haven't both done and do them together. Like if you find out you both haven't gone and gotten the Orky pet, that might be a fun one to go and do together.
Cool.
That is so smart. So smart. Wow. Congratulations. Wow. And thank you for, the community thanks you, I'm sure. And that's amazing. So you did mention that you had 4 or 5 projects still in the works. Are they just going to happen just over the course of this coming year, or?
Pretty much there. Like I said, I keep my projects rolling. I try not to keep too much of a timeline. I found that kind of holds me back rather than pushes me forward. So let's see. I'm looking at my website. The ones that in the menu that are like faded out are the ones I'm working on right now.
Makes sense.
So the ones that the one that I'm focusing on most recently is I've been really thinking a lot about companions lately, because I felt like I always have my companion along for the ride, and I know the most basic things about them, but I didn't know a ton about them. And my last guide about them was written in 2016. So they've kind of changed a little bit since then. And the gifting system is more complicated than I thought it was, and getting up to influence 50 and how exactly that affects things. How do you make your companions stronger? Which companions are strongest? How do you get each companion? How many companions are there? By the way, there's 93. I covered romances in general, but I wanted to tie those into companions too. And how do you recruit all the companions in Knights of the Fallen Empire, and what does that require? So that's been a bunch of different associated guides. Like each one is kind of its individual thing, and I'm working on doing all of them and tying them together. So people, when they look up a companion, they can get like a full overview about that character.
Wow.
That is cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
You can see my progress at swtorista.com/companions, but it's not finished yet. But you should be able to click most of the companions and kind of get an idea, like all their customizations. Like if I click Kaleo, you can see her bio, you can see her customizations, you can see her romance guide, and you can see her influence and gifting info. Yeah, that's good to go.
Excellent. Well done, and look forward to seeing the ones that come out as they do. I've been using some of them already. You know, like when I want to see what a what a weapon looks like when it's shooting. You know, I go to the weapon one, and it's really nice. And I've also been using it to like try to figure out outfits too for the armor.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Between my site and then also Tor Fashion.
Tor Fashion is, of course,
everyone
classic.
knows about, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and it's still kind of a go-to there as well. They did a good job, sort of tying in. Like if you find one and you find a particular tag that makes sense, then you can find all of them for that character, like sleeveless or whatever. You could and then it'll show you all the sleeveless ones. It's really cool. And yours is sort of similar in that way.
It's a little simpler though than Tor Fashion.
Right. Anyway, awesome. All right, and Kitty has the little link for you in the chat there. Let's go ahead and move on to the tip of the week. Just have a tip from me this week, because I did discover it since last time. Lana, I've been giving her the delicacy gifts. It turns out Koth gets influence from delicacy gifts as well, and not only that, he actually loves them. He actually gets more influence from them than Lana does.
Oh, no way.
He absolutely loves delicacy gifts. So I've been giving Koth delicacy gifts like crazy, and he just really goes nuts for them. So
I saw you posting about that in the show notes, and I'm excited to tell you there's actually quite a few different companions that also like those delicacy gifts. I always thought it was just the Cartel Market companions. So there's all the pretty much all the Cartel Market companions that are like beasties, like the delicacies.
Right.
But
it's kind of the opposite of the armor ones for the droids.
Yeah. There's Koth, like you said. If you have a trooper and you have original Tano Vic, he also really likes delicacies. And also, if you happen to have Lislo, who's the Geonosian companion from Osis, he also, or she, I'm not sure, also really likes delicacies too.
Really? From Osis? Okay. How do you get that? Wait, how do
Yeah,
you get that
how
one?
do you
That
get
doesn't sound
that?
familiar. That's not a Star
This one,
Fortress
I
one.
didn't even know much about this one at all. So Lislow is a Geonosian companion. We're on a podcast, so I can't really show you.
That's okay.
But he's a little bug, and he's like quite short compared to the other companions, and he's a very rare drop. I've mostly heard people saying he drops from hard mode Hive of the Mountain Queen,
Okay.
the
It makes
Geonosian
sense.
Queen, single boss.
The single boss
operation.
fight, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't have any dialogue or anything, I don't think, like that. He's just a rare companion you can get.
That's cool.
That is really cool. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, I didn't know before I started this. I was like, Lislow.
Right.
It's Lislow.
That's how they have 93 companions, and no one knows.
Right.
No one knows it until Swtorista goes through and figures them all out.
I would love it if you fed Koth the delicacies, and then he got like a gut.
I thought you were going to say I would love it if you fed Koth Lislow, and I was like,
I just want to see Koth with a like a pot belly, Be kind of funny.
All right. So if you have a tip of the week, send it in before the next show for a chance to win a Tonfon M83R droid code or M2B9 droid code, courtesy of Bioware, and an OotiniCast provided Cartel Market pack from the latest shipment. And that will bring us to the Mine Trap. And let's see, the question we had this time was, and in fact, Kitty's already dipping into the High Republic. Soon there will be the High Republic era. But right now, what is your favorite Star Wars era for stories in any media? And so I included, of course, Old Republic / pre-Rule of Two, Fall of the Republic, Empire or Fall of Empire, and then New Republic First Order. I knew, of course, that, being a SWTOR podcast, that there would be a SWTOR angle to this. However, did not expect it to be quite as high as it was. 67% of the 140 votes said, yeah, just Old Republic or Pre-Rule of Twos works for me.
I hate the Old Republic. That era sucks.
The other part of the question, though, that I thought would be interesting is, after you take away the angle of the SWTOR, and in fact, I voted for SWTOR myself. What would be like the ratio between the others? So the Fall of the Republic, which would be like prequel era, is 7.1%. Empire or Fall of Empire, which is the classic trilogy, is 19%. And then New Republic First Order, which is the sequel era, and that's 6.4%. So, once you take away the SWTOR stuff, then the Empire / Fall of Empire, classic trilogy era, definitely, there's a lot of love for that period of time. Mm-hmm. The other thing, though, I think is kind of interesting, though, is like this is like a way stronger bent than I thought it would be. Like, it tells me, like, once someone sort of gets exposed to SWTOR era, where you've got like lots of Sith, lots of Jedi, it makes for some very interesting stories, and people like the stories. It's also
people who were playing were only Star Wars: The Old Republic players or listeners.
Of course,
right?
yes, absolutely.
I'd really love to see that poll ran again for Old Republic players, but with the Old Republic excluded. I'd love to know what our second favorite one was.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm kind of assuming it would still fall in the same general percentage as it, but it could change. Maybe the ones who have Old Republic voted for would have, really slanted towards prequels or sequels, but I don't know.
Well, assuming that people that are playing the game are Star Wars fans and they are familiar with all the different eras of Star Wars storytelling.
True. I'm not as familiar with some of the other Legends stuff, except for I've got the movies and I've got the Old Republic. Everything in between is a bit of a mystery to me. And High Republic just started kicking in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm still an old fan of the Bane trilogy, which is, I guess, just pre-Rule of Two, technically, because it's literally the story of the turn of the changeover from when there was a lot of Sith to when there was the Rule of Two, it's pretty awesome. But so Empire, Fall of Empire, classic trilogy, sort of. A lot of people have love for that. No surprises here, maybe, but I don't know. I was interested to see what would happen And that's what happened. Now, I would like to give out a couple of mystery codes. In fact, the person that we tried to give it to last week wasn't able to accept it, so we're going to try a couple of them this time. We get to the mystery code era here. We call them mystery codes. They've always been... so far, they've all been the same thing, but because they weren't what the dev told us they were going to be, we have to call them mystery codes. So...
Maybe a porg.
Aw, that's cute. All right, so let's see. Gosh, we got a lot of people here today. So we got 22 minus the 3 of us. So that's 19. Go to random.org. One moment. And do a 1 to 19 result. So we've got, wow, a 1. That's rare. So that, yeah. So that's Bantha. So congratulations, Bantha. And let's see who the next one is.
Bantha, congrats!
Now I have to count down to 13. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And Intisar. So Intisar and Bantha, I'll whisper you each a code here in a moment, and then we'll get going back to the regular show.
And if you're like me, who likes to... Oh, does this part show on the main podcast or no?
Yes. Everything shows as far as I know.
Cut this part out. Hang on. And if you're like me and like to listen into the podcast after it goes live, how could I get in on winning some of these prizes by watching it live?
Why, you can go to Twitch at OotiniCast.com/Twitch. I don't know. I'm only a host here. I just usually Google everything. Google! And then it takes me right to it.
I was looking for twitch.tv/OotiniCast to watch the show live, but I don't know at what time it normally airs.
We start at 4 p.m. Pacific time.
Pacific time, yes. On every other Tuesday. That is the normal time.
So yeah, we are cutting this out, right?
So congratulations to you guys, and hopefully this will...
I tried.
It's all good.
Stepped all over you, Swtorista. It's so nice to talk to you.
Right. So hopefully those will be good codes for something good. The others have been for 2,400 cartel coins, but because it wasn't what the dev told us it was going to be, we have to call them mystery codes, and yeah. So it should be good.
Mystery code is so much more fun.
I think mystery code is kind of more fun too. We could actually take a bunch of codes and just make a list of mystery codes, and they really would be mystery codes at that point. But I let's not think about that right now. Yeah, so we do stream it out live at twitch.tv/OotiniCast. You can go to OotiniCast.com/live, and it'll kind of give you this information as well. Then once the live show goes out, we do put the raw version up on YouTube as well. And then the audio version is edited, and then that goes out on usually the next day out onto the usual podcast things, Apple Podcasts and all that good stuff. All right, so that'll bring us to the holo feed, and Swtorista did mention the Relics of the Gree event is going on the 12th through the 19th, so it has started today. You have to be level 50 because it is on Ilum. The usual stuff, you got some PvP, some non-PvP, you've got the special boss, you've got weapons and all kinds of fun stuff. I did get, when the Life Day came, I did buy one of the Gree Life Day speeders finally, yeah. It's very pretty. I put that on my main tank. That was really, really pretty.
And you're talking about the one that's a big orb that's glowing blue or glowing aqua, right?
That's
really cool.
Yep, the blue one for sure.
You're using it on Wonder Woman too, right?
I'm using it on Wonder Woman because it's like an invisible jet.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice.
I look for any pet or any mount that kind of matches the character. So anything that's sort of invisible, I make that one of her invisible jets. So she has like the Rose, the Aerotech Rose, which is sort of invisible.
Yeah.
She actually uses a Tauntaun because for some weird reason back in the 50s, Wonder Woman had like this whole like Friends with the Kangaroos thing, believe it or not, and they look a lot like Tauntauns, of course. And it's like, I have no. Just Google Wonder Woman and kangaroos, and it's like this whole weird thing.
Please tell me she rides in the pouch.
It's this whole weird thing. Anyway, so she uses a tauntaun just because of that. Anyway, moving on. The Swoop Rally is coming back. That's going to be the January 26th through February 2nd, and you only need to be level 20 for that. That's on several different planets. You got Onderon and Dantooine, Tatooine, and there's all sorts of reputations for the 3 different groups, and you can see different stories and different vehicles and all kinds of stuff. That one actually is pretty amazing. And how far have you gotten through that one, Swtorista? I have not gotten very far. I did a fair bit on the test server when it was a test server thing, and then it came on the live server, and I've barely touched it.
I've been playing the swoop event. I've been swooping as it comes out. I think I'm in the champion rank, but I keep forgetting to do the actual story. So I figured I'd wait till I hit legend and then just do them all in one giant pile.
That sounds good. That sounds like a nice stream, actually.
As soon as I got the pets, though, I was like, okay, I got everything I needed from this.
Is that like your thing? Your favorite thing is the pets?
I want the pets. I know they're not like the most collected thing in Star Wars: The Old Republic, but if an event has a pet, I'm like 110% there. I don't care how much grinding it takes. I'm there.
Is there a pet that you've like tried to get, but it's been really hard to get, or?
The little symbiotic Rakghoul from the Korea event, Rakghoul event. I finally got it last time. The rare drop from the Rakghoul boss. I was like, yes. So now I'm Lord of the Raklings. I don't know if there's any others I'm missing that I really need now. That one was a big one.
Nice. So
yeah, I've never been much of a pet guy, but when I saw that weird little Giza for Life Day, I was beelined on it.
It's so weird. It's got a little snowball on its head. It's like a little frog with a snowball head.
Yeah,
right.
That's what it is.
I don't know why I needed it, but I was like, all right, I need that.
Yeah, someone just had this funny little idea, and then they just ran with it.
Yeah.
Because it's like
put a snowball on it.
It's like we really do need like another pet or something for the Life Day, and it's like
let's just put a snowball on it.
Yeah, it's like we've already got the Wampa Cub. You know, what are we gonna do? Let's just take a regular pet.
I did find one that I still need. From the Eternal Championship, there's a rare drop called the Ichneid. It's a real creepy spider.
Oh wow!
White spider with red spots, and it's kind of similar to, I won't do any too much spoilers. In one of the Mandalorian episodes, there's some critters kind of like it. I think they were spawned from the same concept art by Ralph McQuarrie.
Oh, nice. That makes sense. And you get that when you defeat the different levels and bosses of the Eternal Championship, apparently.
It drops from one of them, but I think it's just a rare drop, so I never got it.
And is it only from one of them, do you think, or is it from just any of them?
I'm not entirely sure, but I think from any of them. I could be wrong, though. But
yeah, if it's rare, it's rare. That's the problem.
I don't get it. That's all I know, and it's sad.
All right. Game update 6.2.1 is on the PTS. Let's see. There's going to be improvements to the amplifiers and rebalance the uprisings. That's sort of the main things that they've been talking about. Have you had a chance to do that, Swtorista? I have not personally. Plus, my SSD is really full right now.
I'm playing on the Steam version of Swtorista. As far as I know, I can't even get on the PTS, correct?
That's true. They did say that. In fact, Eric had a specific one where they said they want to make it so that the PTS is available to regular and Steam, or people who just do it the regular way and people who do it through Steam. But the Steam setup was not set up in time, and they just wanted to get going with the PTS. So they did that instead of delaying the PTS just for the Steam thing. But it sounds like
the main thing I wanted to see was any new Cartel Market previews.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And luckily, Sam on mmobits.com did post some of the previews up.
Right. I didn't actually add that to the show notes. I tend to be a little leery of the whole
test server stuff,
the test server and data mining and all that sort of thing. We'd be a little careful about that. I did see it though. The little floating bits on the lightsaber hilt was pretty cool. That does look really very nice. And yeah, it looks like there's gonna be some nice pieces coming out. Let's see. So they reorganized the amplifier's user interface for better browsing experience. There's some bugs in it. They said right now that's like the only known bug on the known bug list. Previously, amplifiers were organized in alphabetical order. Now they're organized with a tree-based view, and then you can also see like what piece they're on and stuff like that, which is nice. They're also increasing a tier of rarity just to improve the visibility and readability of amplifiers. So in addition to green, blue, and purple, and gold, there's now a rarity for the lowest tier, standard white. However, no values and no odds to obtain them have been changed. So it's just to make things a little more granular.
I've seen some players talking about that newly labeled white tier, but I wasn't entirely sure what it meant, especially from the dev tracker post, especially when they added that no values have been changed. Are you guys aware of what exactly that means?
I haven't actually been in the PTS, but as I'm reading it, it's like it's going to be the lowest level. Like green was always several tier, there was always several on every green tier. They probably just shaved the bottom two and just those are now white.
Made them
essentially.
white, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all right. Let's see. There is. Yeah, and like I said, you have to be on the regular. You can't be doing it through Steam at the moment. It did sound from his post that they are sort of planning on future making it available for both versions. They just weren't able to do it this time. On January 6th, go ahead, Kitty.
Oh, I was going to download it, but
Same.
I wasn't sure. I got a little confused, and then I was like,
Right.
I'll just wait.
On January 6th, there was a lot of login issues, but it was fixed after about an hour. So I didn't personally have that issue, but that was kind of a very early morning thing. So I think it was before I even got on. Let's see, we had a bunch of the 9-year anniversary messages from the devs. There was one more that came since then that I kind of liked. So Fred Newman wrote, "Hey everyone, I'm Fred, and I hope the new year's already treating you great. 9 years, what a ride. In 9 years, never have felt more like Luke than I did these last 11 months, perpetually stuck on the farm, cleaning up new droids while all I wanted was go to Tashi Station." That's pretty much all of us right now. In all seriousness, despite how surreal our situation has been over the last few months, I've watched our team meet unexpected challenges, excitement undiminished, and fly at them full steam ahead. See what I did there? Navigating working from home has been a whole new bowl of patty frogs for our team, especially when we're such a close-knit family that thrives on social creativity. But our love of the game, the drive to create, and our excitement for what lies ahead has fueled us. I've worn a lot of hats at BioWare Austin since 2011. I started in QA, quality assurance, moved into tools QA soon after, and eventually had an opportunity to become a dedicated part of the Cartel Market team. In March of last year, I was excited to make another move, this time to the art department. So a lot of cool stuff, actually.
Yeah, a lot of bases there.
Changing work roles on SWTOR was a dream come true. The one thing that never changed in all my different roles was seeing each team brimming with passion to deliver the next exciting thing for the players. Perhaps my favorite aspect of working on this project is seeing the community grow and evolve, yet remain a powerful support base for this faraway galaxy. Simply put, the SWTOR player fam is the cream of the crop, and I couldn't be more proud of being a part of it. Keep on keeping on, everyone. Can't wait for the time when we can all raise a glass at a cantina again and celebrate our love for all things Star Wars. Happy anniversary, everyone.
I have actually met Fred in person, and I was surprised to see him post. He is the most enthusiastic person I have ever met in my life. I have never met a single player in the game who is as enthusiastic about the game as Fred is. And he was
awesome.
like, I think he was on the Cartel Market team at the time. So he was like not even in like the deep story or the deep operations or anything like that. And he just had such passion for it. I was like, oh my god.
Did you meet him at a con, at a cantina, or?
I think so. I'm trying to remember which one I met him at, but it was one of the official Old Republic events. I think it might have been Star Wars Celebration, because they invited along 10 of the devs who wouldn't normally attend the event. Like they weren't part of the community or leadership team. That was super cool. Actually, a lot of the devs, although not all of them outwardly display that explosive enthusiasm, a lot of them really, really seem to enjoy what they work on and their jobs. Like I was even talking to one of the devs who works on like UIs and stuff like that, the user interface bits and bobs, and just hearing them talk about it and how much they cared about it was super cool.
That is cool.
Nice. I love that.
Oh, and Dekion, yep. says it was Celebration. He remembers meeting Fred. That's awesome.
Oh, you remember Fred? I don't think you can forget Fred once you've met Fred.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a couple minor posts. I didn't include the actual post, but just this general knowledge that the Rampage achievement boosts are buggy. So there's some boosts that come with the dailies where it's supposed to help you achieve your Rampage goals, so you can get conquest a little bit faster. They are somewhat buggy. So if you're experiencing that is a known bug. Amplifiers in 6.2.1. There's a lot of feedback on that. You can test on them. There's the new white tier rarity, rarity locking compared with the weekly cost resets and stuff like that. So, so I'm looking forward to seeing how the amplifiers work better. But
Yeah, I'm interested.
I read it, but I didn't feel like I cared any. Like, unless they made it a different way to get them or less RNG, I wasn't super.
Right. Yeah, the reset of the cost is kind of an interesting.
We'll see how it works.
Idea, yeah, because usually it's like you kind of like leave it alone. It's like if you boost it up and it's like, oh, now it's getting expensive, and well, I guess I'm just going to leave that one alone, or even just trash it. Just wait for the next arm ring to come along, or whatever.
Exactly. That's basically how I get mine.
Yeah.
I
just wait for another armor ring to drop with the.
I mean, we made this,
which I don't think is what they originally intended for you to do. No,
right?
But it's the most cost-effective thing.
Yeah, and I made this suggestion to them. This was when we had the talk with Musco and Charles about almost a year ago, and it was basically saying like the lower level ones should be like way cheaper to change the amplifiers, so that you can actually like try it out and see what it's like and actually play around with it, because it's really kind of expensive. Even you got a level 20 mod that happens to have dropped or whatever, and it's like it's going to cost you several thousand credits to change it, and you're only going to have it for a level or two.
You're not end game yet, so
you're not in end game. So
trying to end game min max anyway.
Exactly. That should be the difference. Like I wouldn't care if it was like really cheap and then all the way up until like 300 to 306 or something like that, and then just keep it the same price. I'm totally okay with that. Plus, it would give people a chance to actually try them out, because usually I don't even look at them. If I happen to know the conquest includes something where you can get points for changing an amplifier, I will do it.
Like,
I'll like bloop, and I'll spend a few thousand.
Points button.
Yeah, 3,000 credits down the tube for 5,000 points, whatever that works. But yeah, normally I min-max it at end game, and other than that, I just kind of ignore them. So right. I hope that's something that they're at least considering. But anyway. So they are making uprising changes. They're rebalancing the difficulty. They're making them 75 because they weren't before. And let's see. Let's go to the next bit here. PTS is now live. We know that. All right. Let's see. We've already talked about how Eric said, currently you will not, Eric, here's what I mentioned before, but this is what Eric actually wrote. Currently you'll not be able to access 6.2.1 on PTS if you do through Steam. We removed the PTS functionality as part of our update to direct patching on Steam. We are working to get PTS available for you as soon as possible, but in this case 6.2.1 was ready faster than our Steam functionality was. We didn't want to hold up testing while we continue to work on it. To set some expectations, it is possible that 6.2.1's PTS cycle will complete before PTS is available for Steam. You can still access PTS, though, if you have access to the game outside of Steam. We know this isn't ideal, but as soon as we have any updates about timing, we'll let you know. So that's what's going on with that. Let's see. I think I'm going to skip that down. Life Day and the 9-year anniversary did end on 6th of January after the last show. Like I said, there was a lot of fun little things. And I actually didn't mind having the snowball this time. I did sort of get used to throwing it at different people and different enemies and stuff like that. It's always funny when like there's a dead body on the floor and then you highlight it and throw a snowball at it.
Yeah, right.
It's like
that's what dead bodies are for, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, festivities. All right, so there was a change made to stop customizing returning story companions, and they explained why. And they basically said, off the bat, if a companion if a companion is considered a guest companion, meaning they've not permanently joined your party, and you equip them with items, then you can lose them if you lose the companion or reset your quest. In other words, if you kill the companion through choices or reset your quest. The change was made to prevent that loss from happening, as we do not want players to lose items. Guest companions can fall under two categories. One type of guest companion is that they are just temporary and never officially join your party. The second would be that the company is considered a guest until they officially become your companion.
I thought it was so we would stop stealing Senya's lightsaber in HK51's purple crystal. Or is that not it?
Apparently not. This generally happens once an arc is completed.
Yeah, this is kind of. I like to customize my companions as soon as I get them.
Yeah, it's nice.
Once this
when you
hit, I'm
can.
like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah,
for consistency.
Now they're locked down.
Oh.
So anyway, that is their idea. Whether you agree with it or not, that is their thinking, and that's why it is. It's nice.
I'm like, I don't have to see people put their companions in bikinis anymore, except a majority of the companions.
Well,
like
true. Yeah.
Lots of bikinis left still.
Let's see. And here we go. This is something that I know Swtorista was especially interested in talking about, as was I, actually. And the devs are asking for accessibility suggestions. Like the title suggests, we'd love to hear your suggestions for accessibility. This is from Jackie Coe, the relatively new person on the team. I know that some threads already exist, such as this one from Seawolf, and there's a link, and I'll be adding them here as I find them. Additionally, if you see any others, feel free to link them here or add your own suggestions below. We can't guarantee that every suggestion is going to be implemented, but we do want to hear about what can improve the game in terms of accessibility. And you had something specific you wanted to say, Swtorista.
Yeah, so when posting on this thread, players have a lot of requests about changes in the game, and there's tons of stuff in the game as a player most of us want fixed. For example, we would like less lag, we would like less desync, we would like less visual bugs, but these are not accessibility issues.
Right.
Accessibility issues specifically refer to usually if someone has a physical or mental disability, no matter how simple or complicated it is, it's something that the game prevents them from actually playing because of the way it's set up, and something that can be fixed. For example, a really common one that you guys might know about is if text is too small, people with different variations of eye issues or blindness can't read the text, so they can't play that aspect of the game.
That's right.
This isn't saying like, please give us tips about how to make master mode more accessible to everybody. This is like the basic aspects of the game, what can be improved. Please don't ask for graphical bugs, like you don't need your mustache or your cape fixed to play the game. But especially if you yourself don't necessarily have a disability, but if you struggle a lot with a certain type of content, like it's really difficult for you in general to get through, and it's a basic type of content, not like master mode's really hard. Master mode's hard for everybody, don't worry. You can also really post in that thread, because if you're struggling with an aspect of the game, like to actually get through it, and it's not because lag or because cosmetic things, then there's a good chance someone else is struggling a lot with that. And if you have a disability, you're going to struggle even more. And also, if you have any friends who do have like a diagnosed mental or physical disability, definitely hit them up and help get some feedback from them to post in the thread, because even if they can't post or don't feel up to it, you might be able to give feedback yourself about these accessibility issues. So I really encourage people to post, but don't post things that will waste the developer's time. Like posting about lag is kind of it's just muddying the waters for what they're actually asking about in this round of questioning. The most common one I've seen people posting about is color blindness issues. And this is something we've kind of known about for a very long time.
Yes.
And players without any disabilities actually often hear about it because we'll be in operations and our colorblind players will be like, I can't tell the difference in operator 9. But there's also a lot of more obscure stuff. For example, a lot of the texts in the game are too small. So if you have vision problems, you can't read a lot of the tooltips, and the user interface doesn't always fix it. There's lots of little things like that. So especially if you struggle with these types of things, please post in that thread, because a lot of us, if we're not struggling with a disability, we may not even know about the issue. And I'd love to see more about those in that thread. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, Dekion said changing the door color to instances was a great improvement. And and I think when they changed the color, or maybe they did it at different times, but I think they did it at the same time, they also added a bit of a like an animation to it. And there's a different one if it's a red one versus one that you're actually allowed to go in, and it actually moves, so you can actually like tell that way too, like even if the color isn't quite working for you. They're still
definitely more aware of some of the smaller ones. Like, for example, if you happen to play the Feast of Prosperity event and you do the little server droid mission, they're organized by color, and I'm very color focused when I'm trying to remember stuff, so that's what I use to deliver to the tables. But it also had a picture of the dish. It also had a different shape for each dish, and that's nice. The kind of cues that a colorblind player would need. So that's hopefully moving forward, a lot of stuff will be better, but they still have to go back and fix the ones that are from the past before they knew about it.
Right. And Fortzer was saying can't play Sage because the ability to shake the screen. I can believe that. In fact, Kitty and I have noticed that the shaking for some reason got turned way up. It's like a lot stronger now.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
And it was actually affecting me, like, and I don't have like inner ear I do have an inner ear thing, but it's not on an ongoing basis. It's occasional. And when I have it, I know it. But it's like, if I had like just an ongoing perceptual or inner ear disorder, that would absolutely screw me up. And so the ability to turn that ability off, or at least tone it way down, would be really nice.
Be so good. Yeah, we were having trouble getting through just basic story stuff.
Yeah,
it was so bad.
Right there, because we were in a part of the story where there was like an earthquake going on. It's like it was so shaky we couldn't see where we were going. And it's like, oh my god. Yeah, and I can't even imagine, like, if I actually had like vertigo and I was actually, at the time, I wouldn't even be able to play. I would have to just walk away from the screen at that point.
In a related vein, I've seen people saying being able to turn down the flashiness of abilities, or be able to turn them off for like sensory overload, or anything else that would be detrimental if it's a lot of visual stuff right in your face. And that can actually help with a ton of different issues, like not just visual or seizures, but it could also help just people with learning disabilities or just processing issues, because you've got less in your face. You can see what's going on a little better and figure things out from there. Yeah,
certainly there's other things they could change colors to, for like, at least for one's own UI would be nice, because you can set the color of your chat. For example, I do my Utini chat a certain color so that it stands out from regular text or from guild text and all that sort of thing. And that's one other nice thing about SWTOR that does work for accessibility, is that the UI is very customizable. You can make toolbars bigger. Right. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. I'm saying it's nicer than if it was just set, You can change the size of things greatly. You can increase the size of text, including cutscene text. So, yeah. In fact, I do that not for my own accessibility, but just to make it better on stream, so that people can read it if they're using smaller screens.
And that's one of the great things. We learned a lot from recent games coming out. When they do a lot of accessibility research and testing and stuff like that, we find that it benefits the regular player base as well.
It really does,
who don't necessarily have those disabilities often really appreciate the features as well.
Right. And the only other game I really play besides SWTOR is League of Legends, and they have a colorblind mode, and instead of
nice.
And it literally just changes the colors. And I actually use it partly because I do stream that occasionally, but also I just find it much more easy to deal with. Even though I'm not colorblind, it's like the differences are a little more stark, and they just work better. And it's just a setting, and it changes like the color of basically everything that you would want to, all the text and all the ground-based stuff and all that, the fly text and all that sort of thing. So,
I know that when I play Hoth, sometimes I wear sunglasses just because it helps.
Hoth is brutal, man. Yeah.
Hoth can get brutal.
Yeah. It's like...
Just get like some plastifilm for your screen.
Right. There are some settings that you can use on your
monitor.
monitor.
display.
Well, no, you can use it on
In
Windows, 10.
Yeah.
It's called, let me see, display. It's called Nightlight.
Dark mode.
Nightlight settings. Those can really, really
Nice.
help.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I'm on Hoth, I'm like, oh man, oh thank goodness we're going into a cave. My eyes get a rest for a while. It is so brutal.
Right here, so I can
And
turn on.
one other thing I thought about this is this is a really good sign that they have long-term plans for SWTOR. I mean, yes, they've already talked about how there's going to be a 10-year anniversary stuff.
Kitty! For those of you who can't see the stream and are listening to the podcast, Kitty has put on some sunglasses so he doesn't have to see
With little
Hoth.
hearts, yeah, Lolita style.
Shaped like hearts. Very lovely. I was quite surprised to see this accessibility post because accessibility often comes last in terms of game development in the tiers of what's important to get done. What makes money? Content. New content makes money. New cartel market items will make money. Accessibility can make some money, but it's usually pretty lower down there because the user base will be smaller compared to the general populace. But I was quite pleased to see that. I think it's been something that's been happening more in EA in general, is they've been trying to reach out a bit more to our gamers who are not necessarily the majority, which is really cool. Just all over the board. So I'm hoping that this is something that they got down from on high, which means they have more power and more, I guess, funding to actually implement it.
Nice. Yeah. And it's true that when these sort of basic system changes do indicate, that they're in this for the long haul. That this is not
no reason to do this if they're ending the game.
Right, exactly.
Waste of time.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah. So if you have any of those, there is the post. It's in the show notes, but you can also pretty easily find it on the forums. And if you have an accessibility suggestion that would help you, they definitely want to hear about it. This is the time to talk about it.
Please do it.
I mean, any time is really the time to talk about it, but they are actively asking for them. Yes. So we did have a little patch today, 6.2a. The patch notes they're fine. It's basically bug fixing. A lot of bug fixes about Spirit of Vengeance Flashpoint. There are various things happening that shouldn't have been happening, preventing people from continuing on, or in some case knocking you out into space, which I kind of love. It didn't actually happen to me, but that sounds amazing. Bosses no longer returning, stuff like that. So yeah, there was a couple other sort of ones about login rewards, and then there are some also about the cinematics and so on from various parts of the game, including Kotet and Coffee, and so there you go, and some class story bug fixes too, which is nice. So not too much really to talk about there. Did you? Let's see. So one of the things that I did want to talk about before we move on to just general Star Wars stuff is you also had a predictions for 2021. Swtorista. I thought that was fun. And it kind of came down to the classic thing that gamers do, which is one is they pay really obsessively close attention to what the devs say and don't say, and the tone of voice in which they said it. And then also, looking through like the stories for hints as to what might come there as well. What's
funny is it probably looks like I'm super obsessive about the game, but I actually don't care that much about what comes next. I just kind of enjoy playing it, but I love researching stuff and writing about it. It doesn't have to be SWTOR. It's just SWTOR is my current thing that I work way too hard on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been really fun, though. I didn't realize how much would be hidden in the existing storylines. I felt at first when I started we wouldn't really know a lot about what's coming up, but we actually do have a ton of hints about what's coming up, at least in the story, if not in specifically 2021.
Right. So, yeah, and we know, and the other thing is like the systems changes. There's a lot of talk about that. Like what does that mean exactly?
That's the problem. We don't know.
Right.
Don't know.
It was very vague. Yes,
vague, maybe references, maybe.
It could just be about the accessibility changes that they want to do. Who knows?
Hey, if that's what they actually mean, I'm kind of okay with that. As long as it comes with like some actual content too. I pick accessibility over improved graphics, to be honest.
I
That's
tend
just
to
me.
agree.
I know other players might have a different preference.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think to some degree, I think the game is sort of banging up against the ceiling of the Hero Engine. It's like
They can only do
how much more can they do with the Hero Engine at this point? It's crazy what they have done, but yeah, It's always interesting to talk about what's going to happen, but it's very hard. On the other hand, it's very hard to talk about it because it's like we don't have any control over it, and it's like we certainly don't have any actual verification as to which of our hunches might be correct and which ones are wrong. So it's fun to talk about, and I definitely suggest people check out your video, especially if you are interested in like what might be some of the story arcs.
Honestly, I enjoy the act of researching much more than making the predictions. You'll notice in my video that I'll do like 20 minutes of deep lore dive about what actually happened so far, and then like a 1 minute prediction. It's not very simple. It's not even like a rant or like a huge theory. It's just like, this will probably happen, but man.
I would say if anyone like is interested in what's going to happen in the story in SWTOR and you have not read Star Wars: The Old Republic Deceived, it's all about Malgus and this strange person / Jedi that he's going to go to the same planet as and presumably confront in some way. You've got to read that because it's definitely going to tie in. I mean, at least it gives you a good background on who these characters are.
You need to go for long walks.
Yes.
And listen to an audiobook called Deceived. And I don't think it's very expensive if you buy either like the Kindle, like the ebook version or the audio version. And I've heard a lot of players like the Old Republic audiobooks too. So
I have them
if you're
all.
looking
They're good.
for something to listen to or to read, Deceived is going to be your top choice, I think, right now, apart from High Republic, if you haven't read it yet.
I'm going to be in shape by spring.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. The general Star Wars news that I wanted to hit on was the Star Wars game Sizzle Reel. Lucasfilm's games is going to start appearing on all their games. They do say that a new era in Star Wars games is coming. No real indication what that is. And
before we go too far, what was this sizzle reel? What actually got released that we saw with our eyeballs?
It was SWTOR does appear for about 4 seconds. Starts at 26 seconds in. So if you go to,
just
if you look at Star Wars games sizzle reel, if you search that on YouTube, find it. 26 seconds in, you'll see 4 seconds of one of the Blur videos, basically.
And what were some of the other games that showed up in that mashup of trailers?
It was mostly the ones that have come out fairly recently. So it was, God, I can't remember all their names because I haven't played
like
most of them.
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order, thank you. Yes, the Squadron ones. I think there's a little Battlegrounds in there. Yeah, I don't think they went much. I don't think they went. Yeah, they didn't really go past much beyond before like Battlefront 2 or anything like that. So yeah, Squadrons was in there, stuff like that. So it was, like I said, it was a sizzle reel. It was not about the future at all. It was about highlighting the games, that they
in the past
that they have done. Yeah.
So
exactly.
Most of us know that Star Wars: The Old Republic is made by BioWare, who is owned by EA. What does Lucasfilm have to do with all of this?
That's a good question. We don't really know because they said that apparently Lucasfilm's games is going to start appearing on all the games. We know that, and there's some talk about like how there's going to be a new era in Star Wars gaming, but what that means is not really clear.
It means they're going to put the logo on all the games.
Yeah, exactly. That's
all we're getting is the little logo.
The little logo.
Yeah.
But that's
what
it.
I have been told, I'm still struggling to understand what this all means, but I have been told that it is a new studio. Is that correct? Or is it just a rebranding?
And is there really much difference between those two things? I don't know.
Well, a new studio could mean like a new active group of people working on new Star Wars games that isn't EA, that isn't
Well,
Obsidian or whatever else?
Yeah, it's a good question. Given the fact that the games that they were talking about were not, done by Lucas, but by EA, BioWare. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be it doesn't sound like a new studio, because why would they be like talking about the stuff that has been done by like not them? if that is the idea. I don't know. But
We'll see what it means, I guess. And
Yeah.
do either of you know how a lot of players I've noticed have been bringing up in 2023,
Yes.
EA loses its Star Wars licensing, which means they will no longer have permission to make Star Wars games unless they renew the license, I believe. Does this affect that at all? Do you have any ideas?
I don't have any
A lot of
idea.
us are just kind of like, I don't know, I'm not sure.
It's possible that they lose exclusivity at that point. We don't know. We don't know how happy they've been with them. Also, it's certainly possible that given all the changes, because I mean, when they had the exclusivity, it wasn't Disney. It wasn't even Disney. So Disney probably is at the point where they want to take back some control, as opposed to having another company exclusively control an entire aspect of Star Wars when they have control over everything else. So yeah,
and I think that concept has kind of scared a lot of players. Like, okay, if EA loses their license, does that mean SWTOR dies? Like, it just gets shut down? And
well, the answer would be
it
depends. Yeah,
it depends. Yeah, we don't know the answer for sure to that, but I think Disney understands rabid fan bases, and they understand that a lot of SWTOR players are obviously Star Wars fans of the franchise, and big fans, whale fans. So I have a feeling, I don't know exactly what the future holds, but I can't imagine their first thought would be just shut it down, kick all those players out, make them hate the franchise. I can only assume if they do decide to shut it down, it would be with very good reason. So.
I mean, if they're making money,
right.
they most likely just keep it going, right?
Well, how do they keep it going with a studio that doesn't own the license? I don't.
Right. I mean, obviously,
relicense it, or
depending on what.
BioWare.
Depending on right.
Do it, Disney.
Does Disney make another exclusive deal? Do they do it with EA, or do they do it with someone else? Or is it non-exclusive? Because if they make a non-exclusive deal and other companies can make Star Wars stuff, there's no reason that SWTOR couldn't just keep on going, because there's no exclusivity issue there at that point. So we'll have to see. That's a little ways down the line, but still, still we'll see. It's still pretty interesting, and
let's hope we make it as a people to 2023.
Yeah, let's just get there first. Everyone, yeah.
Oh my god.
That's right.
Sorry, it's been a year.
I forgot you were on camera.
All right. A little force feedback here. Read out your tweets and emails. Ducky sent me a little message. I sent him a couple of the packs. Thanks, you didn't have to do that. He got a holo record of Republic Founding. That's just a gift. Advanced Gray-Red War Hero Crystal, Security Chief's armor set, and WL-29 blaster pistol. The WL-29 is actually quite nice. The interesting thing was, it's not terribly new, but it's nice looking. The thing that I thought was cool was the Gray-Red War Hero Crystal, because I didn't even remember that gray was a color crystal in the game, and I had to actually look and preview it to see what it looks like, and it is bizarre, but kind of cool too. Like, I could definitely see like people,
weird.
Yeah,
Hey.
It's like all dulled out and stuff. I could see it being.
It's got a white center.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a very dull red glow around that, and then a very faint black glow around that, and then a light gray glow around that. It is a weird.
Is a very weird color crystal, but it's cool too. I could see like someone like falling in love with that look. Totally. Yeah.
Especially Ducky.
Yeah. and Ducky says, thanks again. Have a great 2021. So, so what else do you have coming up, Swtorista? Like, if someone wants to watch your streams, twitch.tv/Swtorista, I'm sure, right? And then you have a YouTube channel that's also Swtorista, correct? Anywhere else that you'd like people to follow you or watch your stuff?
Yeah, I actually post a lot on Twitter, and if you enjoy being able to give feedback or help answer questions about guides and stuff like that, I post a lot of that and news and new guides and stuff like that on my Twitter, which is the same name, Swtorista. You don't even have to have a Twitter account if you just want to see what the newest things I'm working on are. You just go to twitter.com/Swtorista.
Nice.
If you can spell that by yourself, you get an A+.
Excellent. All right, then. That's the show. If you'd like to play with us in the Utini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Steel Sean server, or in our Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Utini to join the Utini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to OotiniCast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @OotiniCast. You can find contact details for us on our website, OotiniCast.com, which includes how to subscribe using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live bi-weekly on Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific. Go to OotiniCast.com/live to find out how to join in. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. I love that name, by the way. And
I love that song.
It is, yeah, I do too. Thank you to the chat room, and thanks, Swtorista. So nice to have you back.
Bye. Thanks for having me on again.
Thanks, Swtorista.
All right, and
Bye,
we'll
chat.
see you next show. Stopping the stream.